Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. I hope that everybody has had a good week, no matter where you started, no matter where you ended up. If you're still breathing, you're still in the fight, there's still work to be done. Before I get started this morning, I want to point everyone to the description box, no matter if you're watching this live on Facebook or if you're picking it up on another platform after it's posted, whether it's Instagram, TV, YouTube, the website, wherever. Look in the description box and there are going to be some resources. Hello, Lee. Hello, K. Amanda Brown. Thank you guys for dropping in this morning. Hopefully what I share with you will be inspirational, inspiring, encouraging, and empowering in some way. Don't forget to check the box. Everything from our new skills in high demand courses, books, and even an opportunity to work with yours truly for those who are really serious about jumping out there and making some things happen. This morning, we're going to probe the importance of self-awareness and the importance of being honest with ourselves, the need for flexibility as we move through all of the different things that we're going to face over the course of our lives. In the age of social media, it is easy to find yourself in a situation where you think something is wrong with you, that you'll think that your life sucks because you're comparing your total life in all of its complexity and all of its nuances. You're comparing it to someone else's highlights. Very few people are willing to talk about the difficult moments, the struggles, the fears, the complications, the setbacks. Everybody wants to appear as if they all have it together. One of the things that I have tried to do is, while sharing my successes, introduce you to some of my failures, introduce you to some of my shortcomings, introduce you simply to the fact that I haven't been able to do the things I've done without stumbling, without falling, without failing, without having setbacks, without experiencing disappointments. Now, the beautiful thing is, if you look at it, if I focused only on those things, I probably would not have accomplished the things I have. If I would have looked at the difficulty and the failures and the times, how many times I was told no on publishing my first book, I wouldn't have 21 books published. If I were to look at the difficulties I've had with numerous different business endeavors and the companies that I've started from scratch and worked to profitability, if I look at all the ins and outs and what went on with that, there's a chance that maybe I'd have stopped at company number 2, or business number 2, whatever you want to call it. And that would probably be it. If I would have only expected to go through academia through the traditional channels and timing, I wouldn't have the academic accomplishments that I've had, because I didn't take the traditional route and I definitely didn't do it in the traditional timing. What am I saying? I'm saying that life throws things at you that you have to adjust to. Life does some things that simply introduce you to yourself. There's a saying that adversity introduces you to yourself. In other words, when you truly face adversity, you discover who you are. And in the times that I have faced adversity, I have discovered that I'm a fighter, that I'm relentless, that I don't quit, that I don't fold, that I don't shut down. This does not mean that I don't go through some pretty strainful things at times. And I operate in a business, and while it takes me to the max every day, I'm grateful for it. I'm thankful for it, because it forces me to find my mind every day. See, I don't get to wake up and have a bad day because I'm going to have a client that needs me to be on my A game. I'm going to have somebody that I'm going to be consulting, coaching, or counseling that is going to need me to be sharp, need me maybe to lift their spirits. You know, there are times I log on with a client. Most of my sessions are done virtually via video conference. Most of my clients don't live in the city I live in. That's the blessing of technology and the way that I have used it to my advantage to be more impactful. But I can tell you, there are times that I log on with a client, and when I get on and the picture comes on the screen, they're already in tears. Literally. Then I get calls from my clients because I offer free crisis sessions. In other words, my clients come on and they have a set amount of sessions per whatever, and we meet on those dates. But life doesn't happen on the schedule, right? You know, it's not like something's going to go on and then you're going to be in this crisis right before you get on with your counselor or therapist or coach or whatever it is. It normally happens when you're going through the throes of the day. And, you know, so I offer free crisis. You know, they can contact me and hit me up for something and I respond back to it. But on those days when I'm logging in and that face comes on the screen, I have times where both male and female, I mean, they come on and they're already just in a state of crisis. They're crying and they're at wits end. And I can't be on my B game or my C game when that happens. I can't come on dumping on them because of what I'm going through. So I have to wake up and have to get my mind right. Well, the beautiful thing about waking up and getting your mind right is it immediately makes you see where you're at and what you're going through in a different light. It makes you see something for what it is. It's momentary. It's not eternal. Suffering and pain and frustrations and setbacks and delays and disappointments aren't your lot in life. They're not going to be there forever. It feels like it when you're going through it. Trust me, it does. But it's not going to be there forever. It's going to pass, and it will pass at a prescribed time, at a set time, at a processed and now there are things that you can do to expedite it. Number one is have the right mindset, the right perspective, the right view of what you're dealing with. The more power you give it, the longer it sticks around. The more frustrated you allow it to make you, the longer it sticks around, because the more frustrated, the less capable you are of thinking and becoming creative in the solution. And it happens to everybody. Don't let anybody make you think that having it all together means they don't ever go through anything. You just don't know about it. What I know by doing what I do is that people are going through things. This is the reality of what's going on. People are going through things. Some people are going through health issues. Some people are going through financial issues. Some people are going through relational issues. Some people are going through it all. Some people are struggling just to stay sane. That's the reality of what we're dealing with on a daily basis. And if we start comparing our life in totality to someone else's highlights on social media, we're going to really truly lose ourselves, because we're going to feel like life is aimed at us and we're going to start feeling like victims. The truth of the matter is everybody has to wake up every day and fight the battle. This is what life is. Life is a journey. Life isn't about arriving at some destination and everything being grand, hunky-dory, keen, and swell, peaches and cream. That's not how life functions. Life wakes up every day and say, I'm going to test you to see what you got. And you got to answer the bell. And there are going to be some days life's going to get the best of you. It's just how it is. What you have to do is wake up and answer the bell. And I read something a long time ago. And I shared it here in the subject and the title. It said, all of us are self-made, but only the successful, those who are successful will admit it. Let me say that again. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. No, this doesn't mean that when you say I'm self-made, it doesn't mean that there weren't other people involved. There's always other people involved. No one gets anywhere of any significance without there being other people involved. What it means is that it was your choices. It was your state of mind. It was your movement. And we're all self-made, whether we're successful or whether we're failing, whether we're happy or whether we're sad, whether we are moving towards our desired goals, or we feel stagnant and stuck, we're self-made. What does that mean? That means that our state of mind, how we approach things, primarily how we deal with adversity, is going to determine where you're at. The thing is, you're not going to circumvent the struggles of life. You're not going to circumvent the difficulties and the complexities and the challenges. They're coming. But if you look up, you've manifested some beautiful things in your life. I don't care where you are right now. I don't want to say I don't care, because I absolutely care. It doesn't matter where you are right now. That's something that I've made up in my mind that I've got to start changing. I do care where you're at, but no matter where you're at and what you're going through, you can look at your life if you really want to and find some things that you brought to pass through proper action, through proper thinking, through consistency, through resilience. And it shows you that it's possible. Now, how frequently it has happened is also up to you. Life can move against you, but it cannot stop you. That's the rule of the universe, that if you apply yourself, that if you remain consistent, that if you believe and that you act on those beliefs, nothing can stop you. Doesn't mean that nothing is not going to be in your way. It doesn't mean that there are going to be things that slow you down. It doesn't mean that you aren't going to make some mistakes along the way. That's just simply not going to be the case. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make choices that you regret. You're going to make moves that come back and hurt you. However, what you have to understand is that this is about persistence. This is about an intent to do the best by everybody. It's about an intent to be your best every day. It's about an intent to rise up and make the most out of every day, no matter what the situation. Never count yourself out. If you're breathing, you're still in the fight. That's something that is a part of the Navy SEAL creed. If I'm breathing, I'm still in the fight. It ain't over till I stop breathing. And if I'm breathing, there's something left for me to do. You're never still breathing when it's all done. You're never still breathing if there's nothing left for you to do. If you're breathing, you're still in the fight. If you're still in the fight, there's a chance to win. You have to stand up and you have to face it. But you have to understand that you are self-made. Now, only the people who are successful want to admit how they got there, that it's all on them. Those who are failing, those who are going through some difficult moments, those who are dealing with something, don't want to talk about where they're at. See, there's a lack of accountability often because we don't want to admit the bad stuff. We don't want to admit we made a mistake. We don't want to. The thing is, I wish I could tell you that life is this thing where once you figure it out, it just rolls smoothly. No, life is ebbs and flows. It's peaks and lows. It's high speeds and almost complete stops. It's moving backwards sometimes. It's all of these things in complex nature coming at you and you having to move it. But at the end of the day, this is about how you handle adversity. See, everybody loves to talk about faith. Everybody loves to talk about how awesome God is. Everybody likes to love to talk about all these things that deal with faith when things are going well. They want to show you what their faith produced when things are going well. They want to show you what their faith produced when everything's good in their marriage. They want to show you what faith produced when everything's good in their finances. They want to show you what faith produced when the children are behaving and acting right. But when things start to go awry, all of a sudden it's not about faith anymore. It's about the enemy. It's about somebody else. It's anybody else I can point the finger at instead of saying, hey, the same faith that I was talking about that brought me the good things is the same faith that I need to walk through the difficult moments that I'm facing right now. See, you don't really truly know what you are until you meet adversity. Until you come to a point of adversity, you haven't been introduced to yourself. Till you come to a point of adversity, you don't really truly know just how powerful you are connected to your faith. Until you meet a point where it doesn't seem like there's no answer to the problem. Do you really truly know how connected you are to God, how connected you are to faith, how connected you are to the possibilities and the potential that you have inside of you? It is only when you sit up and it doesn't look like it's going to come together. Do you really get to find out who you are? Are you going to fold? Are you going to quit? Are you going to tuck your tail and run? Are you going to stand up, square your shoulders, hold your head up despite how you feel? Man, if you could only know how many times I felt like crap when I've gotten on these morning messages. because I was taking blows from a bunch of different ways. How many times I had to get up here and I had to tell you that you can, when everything on my table at the time was saying that you can't. But see, I wake up and I understand that it's not always how it looks. When you have come to a point of spiritual reality where you start to understand that you're never truly disconnected from God, you just may be not on the same wavelength. So your communication is off, and your access to power is off, and your channel to answers and solutions is not clear. And so it seems fuzzy, it seems aloof, it seems distant, and you start questioning yourself. But when you start to understand that it's that, you wake up and you say, you know what? I see the circumstances and they're unfavorable, but because of my connectivity to the Most High, there's something in my spirit that disagrees with the circumstances. That's what I tell people. There's a difference in facts and the realities created by faith. Faith acknowledges the facts, but faith transcends the facts. There are people that were told that based on science, they were terminally ill. Facts. All the numbers said, no one has ever survived past this point in this disease. And then you find out that they become completely healed. Faith transcends facts. And I'm not talking about any mystic thing. I'm talking about the fact of believing. When you believe something positive, it shifts the chemistry in your brain. It changes the perception. It opens up and starts to upregulate positive genes that work for the immune system and that start healing. It downregulates genes that create disease, and it shuts them down. And if they can't express themselves, gene expression is what makes everything happen. When you shut down disease genes solely by faith, I'm telling you, this is literally happening in the world. The disease can't progress. The disease starts to digress, regress, move back. The healing starts because you've turned on healing by your thoughts and your trust that what is coming is what you want to come, and you start to think it. Just by having a positive mindset, you shut down the production of cortisol and adrenaline, which in consistent, constant presence in your bloodstream wreaks havoc on your body and your organs. The stress hormones. So that's what chronic stress does to you. It shortens your life. It destroys your organs. It wreaks havoc on your heart. But when you start to really truly trust and believe, that's why faith is so important. Faith does not have the luxury of acknowledging and trusting the facts. Faith sits up and says there's something better, and you work towards it. But you have to believe that you are self-made. Where you are right now is a reflection of how you have thought, how you have believed, how you have acted. Now, there are going to be some things that come that you don't have any control over. But your mindset is going to be the determining factor of how you deal with it and how you overcome it. You cannot overcome it from a victim mentality. You can sit up and whine. Sometimes it may feel good to blame somebody else. Sometimes it may feel good to feel like, oh, woe is me, the world is caving in on me. It may feel good to take it off your shoulders and blame it at somebody else, but it's absolutely nothing you can do from the position of a victim. You have to own it. You have to sit up and say, this was not my intention. I mean, even if someone else did it to you, how did they get close enough? You had to make decisions to allow things in that are wreaking havoc. And you're probably going to have to make decisions to remove things that are wreaking havoc. There's absolutely no situation that you can find yourself in that you can't find yourself out of. And just living at a level where you raise yourself here starts to open things up for you. There's nothing easy about it. You know, I'll tell you this so we can share. Back in November, something happened. Those who follow me consistently know about it, at least on the surface. I haven't talked about it in any depth, but like two consecutive things. First of all, November is always a month that's challenging for me because of Thanksgiving. I lost my dad on Thanksgiving Day to a long bout with leukemia. And it's always this month where I have to really push emotionally to be up and get through it. It's a time when everyone around me is in this festive spirit, and I'm fighting to get up for it. And I manage it, and I've been managing it for years. It's not like I just lost him, but it's still fresh with me. That man meant everything to me, and so this is real difficult for me during this time. And I remember right at the beginning, I lose one of my top revenue streams, but it was way bigger than I ever thought because it was indirectly connected to so many other things that I do in business and revenue generators that it was a major hit. Literally the next day, I end up in the ICU dealing with things with my health and trying to get the ship right. It has been a challenge. That's the honest. Again, not going to go into all the details. Now, I've had a choice from day one: give up, say I tried, throw it all away, or to sit up, restructure, rebuild, fight through it, handle everything that needs to be handled, make sure that all of my financial obligations are handled. Now, obviously, that's going to take, some structure, some time, but the goal is, that by a certain time, I know what that time is. It's going to be there. I'm squared away. And so every morning I wake up and all of this stuff is sitting there, but I get through and I find ways to smile. I find ways to love on my kids, love on my wife. I find ways to be advisor, consultant, therapist, and everything else to my clients. But what I can tell you is not at one time will you see me fold. Not at one time will you see me bow down to it, collapse, give up, lay down. Not built that way. I didn't get where I got because it was easy. I didn't get where I got because I was able to come up with some blueprint or plan where I was avoiding circumstances, situations, consequences, all this other stuff. No, I got that because one thing, I don't quit, period. I'm not going to be one of those people that show you my highlights and not give you a glimpse of some of my bloopers. That I'm human. I'm not successful because I don't have bloopers and I don't make mistakes. I'm successful because I overcome my mistakes and my bloopers. I'm successful because I'm willing to grow. I'm never satisfied with just with what I know or who I am. I'm constantly look to develop into something greater and something better. And that's what I am right now. Life has got me where I have to become better. And I relish the moment. And I'm going to stand up in it. And I'm going to rise in it. And I'm going to win in it. I have every time in my life. So what I want to tell you is it's not about all the great times. Sometimes you got to be prepared to stand in that darkness. Don't worry. It was Solomon that said God dwells in the darkness. That's one of the things I learned a long time ago. You're not alone in the darkness. If you understand it, there's some powerful things that happen in the darkness. Almost magical, but it depends on what you're willing to do. You've got to be willing to go the distance. And that's what I tell people all the time. It's not who you know. It's not what you know. It's not even what you have. It's the distance you are willing to go. On that note, I'm gonna get off of here. Like I said, look in the description box. There are some great resources in there for you. For those who want to work with yours truly, to confront some of the things that you're looking at, to get a head start on where you want to go, there's a way to do that. Or just if you want to hit me in my inbox and talk to me about connecting, if you want to get a head start, or you know somebody that would love to train in one of these new high in demand skills for this decade, we have those courses. Get at me. But whatever it is, understand it starts with you. A lot of people are going to be involved in the things that happen in your life. Clients, employers, employees, relatives, they're going to be involved. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about what you do and how you do it. So my challenge to you is to rise up and live at the level of your design. As I always say, live your life on full so that you die on E. And on that note, I'm out.